All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling something pretty much all of us can relate to. We are going to compare our modern skin to the skin of our ancient ancestors.
Look, today, acne is just a massive, completely universal issue. I mean, we're talking about a condition that affects literally hundreds of millions of people all over the globe. It doesn't matter where you live, it's just this frustrating rite of passage for so many of us.
But, that really makes you wonder about our ancient ancestors, right? Like, did cavemen suffer from pimples and skin problems too? Picture it. They're sitting around a campfire after a long day of foraging. Were they stressing out about a breakout or clogged pores?
Well, surprisingly enough, scientists actually believe that acne may have been way less common in many ancient hunter-gatherer societies, which is wild, right? Because they had the exact same basic human biology that we do. So why the difference? Well, the answer really starts with their lifestyle.
Let's think about food for a second. Long before fast food and big gulps of sugary drinks were a thing, our ancestors were eating a completely natural diet. Obviously, there were no drive-thrus. They survived strictly on what they could catch or forage. So we're talking wild meat, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, the whole natural shebang.
And here's the kicker. They consumed almost zero refined sugar. Actually, basically zero highly processed food altogether. Some researchers think this massive difference in diet might have essentially eliminated one of the biggest internal triggers that we know is linked to acne today.
Plus, their day-to-day environments were just completely different from ours. Ancient humans spent the vast majority of their time outside, and that regular sunlight exposure, it may have actually helped reduce certain acne-causing skin bacteria. Though, to be fair, we know too much sun brings its own kind of skin damage. But still, unlike us, they weren't layering on cosmetics, heavy skincare products, or walking through smoggy, polluted cities.
We also have to factor in exercise, which was a huge piece of the puzzle. I mean, hunting, gathering, climbing, walking, these activities kept their bodies constantly in motion every single day. They certainly weren't hunched over a desk for 8 hours at a time.
And all that intense daily physical exertion meant they were genuinely exhausted by nightfall, setting them up for deep, really restorative sleep. When you combine that great sleep with much lower rates of obesity, you get this incredibly powerful combination that naturally supported healthier skin.
Now hold on a second. Life was absolutely not perfect back then. It's super easy for us to kind of romanticize the past when we talk about all these natural diets and active lifestyles, but the reality is, prehistoric life was brutal. It was incredibly unforgiving.
Ancient humans were constantly battling the elements. We're talking severe daily hazards here. Cuts, insect bites, nasty fungal infections, parasites, and some really harsh skin diseases. And remember, they didn't have a medicine cabinet. Without modern medicine, no antibiotics, no antiseptic creams, even a tiny skin infection from a minor scrape could quickly turn highly dangerous.
So this brings us to a really crucial realization. The idea that prehistoric people walked around with flawless glowing skin, that is a complete myth. Their skin was undoubtedly weathered, it was scarred, and it was constantly taking a beating from environmental damage. So no pristine complexions here.
But if we loop back to our main question, even though they were fighting off all those severe environmental elements, their hyperactive lifestyle and completely natural diet likely made what we call modern acne pretty rare for them.
So what's the big takeaway for us? Well, in the end, our ancestors definitely didn't have perfect skin. But it really leaves you with something to think about, doesn't it? As we navigate our modern world of convenience and highly processed foods, you kind of have to wonder, how much did their ancient, demanding way of life inherently protect them from the very skin problems that are frustrating millions of us today?